Are you ready to embark on a journey of exploration and unlock the magic of your wonder? There is so much more in the universe than we have been shown. It is time to ask those questions, dissolve those barriers, and embrace your extraordinary life. Here is your fellow explorer in the realm of curiosity and discovery, with almost 20 years of inviting people to embrace the greatness of them, Donnielle Carter.
So, you know how it ends. You know the jokes. You know the scene. You know the flow. You know how it ends. So, why do you keep watching it anyways? Why do you keep choosing the same shows over and over and over? By the end of this show, you'll know why we choose the same things over and over, and simple tips to create the ability to change the channel if you want. Welcome to the Exploration of Wonder, where we look at things we do every day and ask, wait a minute, what's actually going on here? Let's explore this a little bit more. I'm Donnielle, Nationally Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach, Intuitive Empowerment Coach, and at the end of the day, your biggest fan. And I do mean that. I have a goal of having everybody succeed in the world and creating a life that inspires them to live it every day. So thank you for joining me today. And if you have a topic you would like to explore on the show, please email me at hello@donnielle.com with your suggestions. Because if you're curious about it, I'm curious about it. And if we're curious about it, other people are too. So today we're talking about something really interesting, and the topic honestly came up because I do it. And it's, why do we watch the same things over and over and over again? Because have you ever opened Netflix, scrolled for 20 minutes, and then hit play on the same something that you've seen 12 times in just the past 12 days? Something you've seen before, right? Something that is, you've known it, you know the scenes, you could quote it, you say the lines along with it. Yeah, me too. And I went in search of why, okay? Because what if that's not laziness? Because I don't know about you, but whenever it's like I watch promos and try to find something new, and then I go, screw it, and just watch the laundry list of things that I watch, I went to what's wrong with me. Anybody else? Yeah. Sometimes I even went to, I'm just so lazy, or I can't seem to engage, or anything. But what if it's something else? What if it's actually your brain asking for something specific? I've talked a lot about the brain on this show, about how it likes the familiar. If you can't say it, change the tense. How it likes the familiar over and over and over again. Not to make the brain a bad guy. I'm very fond of the brain. It keeps our body functioning. Okay? But so with your brain wanting something familiar, here's the interesting part. You already know what's going to happen, you already know the ending, you know the lines, and you even know how it's going to make you feel. So why do we do it? Okay? Why do we do it? Well, let's start with the obvious one. It feels good. That's it. It feels good. And not just emotionally, neurologically, because I said we were going to talk about the brain too. When you watch something familiar, your brain already knows what's coming. Your nervous system already knows what's coming. There's no uncertainty, no emotional risk, and no surprise stress. And your brain and your nervous system loves that, right? And what's interesting, in fact, research has shown, and I found an article, if anybody wants it, let me know. Research has shown that rewatching familiar shows helps reduce stress and anxiety because it lowers cognitive load and gives your brain a break. Let me say that again, because it was straight out of the article, technical. Research shows that rewatching familiar shows helps reduce stress and anxiety because it lowers cognitive load and gives your brain a break. What does that mean? When you watch something familiar, your brain goes, "Oh, thank goodness. I don't have to work so hard right now." Your nervous system is like, "I don't have to fly away. I don't have to fight this. I could just relax because I know it's coming." Okay? That's huge. That's huge. So the fact that it feels good is one of the reasons that so many of us go back to that, because we can relax. So it's not laziness, it's relaxing. Okay? Because how many of us are walking around mentally, physically, emotionally overloaded? Right? We're all raising our hands. We're in a society of overwhelm. It's decisions, notifications. Oh my gosh, notifications on your phone, right? I had, small funny side note, uh, let's just say I was in the middle of leaving my friend a voice message and I got interrupted by a spam call. And I have had so many spam calls recently that when it interrupted me, stopped the message, and then I couldn't start the message again because the spam call was leaving a voicemail. And as long as it was leaving a voicemail, I couldn't. I lost my freaking mind. It was one notification too many, so when I went back to leaving my friend a voicemail, I'm like, these freaking spam. It was pretty funny. So what I'm saying is we all seem to be on that tipping point, right? I get one spam call, one of 15 to 20 a day, by the way. I don't know what's going on. I know my information's been sold or something. I'll have to look into it. But I lost my freaking mind because so many of us seem to be on the head of a pin emotionally, neurologically, physically. That one little push like that seems to put us over the edge. Luckily, my friend just laughed at me, but because I was bitching to her, not at her. Um, and so when we rewatch something familiar, our nervous system goes, "This isn't going to push us over the edge. We know what's going on." Okay, so when we rewatch something, we're not just watching TV, we're actually regulating our nervous system when we're watching the same thing again and again and again, right? We are regulating our nervous system, we're giving our brain a break. We don't have the expectations, there's nothing being asked of us. Um, we know how to be. And so in there, that is that it feels good. Okay. Um, so somebody in the chat room asked, so rewatching, detaching into an old series as I have been is helping my nervous system? Absolutely, it can be. And spoiler alert, at the end we're going to flip it 180 because basically the question I'm going to invite you guys to look at is like, watch these old shows with awareness. Are you doing it as comfort regulation and just giving yourself a break, or are you hiding into it? Right? Because there's a big difference, and that's kind of the whole point of the show is oftentimes, yeah, you're regulating your nervous system. You're like, oh, good, we got this. Okay, this feels good. And then sometimes we hide. There's a difference in the energies. We hide and avoid. There's a difference in the energies, and we're going to come to that. So rewatching old series can help regulate your nervous system. Yes, absolutely. And as we go along more, we're going to talk about whether we're hiding or are we helping ourselves, helping or harming with watching this old show. So the next thing that we're doing with the rewatching old shows, I don't know, I have a hard time saying that today. It's funny. The next part is the predictability factor. Okay, we already know how it goes, how it's going to end. All right, and yeah, it can help regulate the nervous system, but the fact that we know how it ends is more important than we think, because when life feels uncertain, your brain will look for something certain. Anybody else have no idea what their tomorrow's going to look like, or today, or a year? Anybody else have an uncertainty in their life? Like most people on the planet. I mean, we have countries at war right now. I was in a global class the other day, and I was working with some translators, and the Russian translator puts into the thread, he says, "Oh, we're having air raid sirens go off. I'll go ahead and retranslate this part later because it's loud." I'm like, "You're having air raid sirens going off?" I'm like, okay. Yeah, uncertain. Our lives are uncertain. And so when we watch a show that we know how it's going to end, we're giving ourselves a guaranteed emotional outcome. Because you don't rewatch a show because you're not emotionally invested. You're like, I like these people. I like this storyline. I like it. So you're guaranteed an emotional outcome, a predictable storyline. You can't predict your life, but at least I can know how this is going to go. And then a known experience. And all of that together creates a sense of control that our daily lives right now are not giving us. Okay? Because everything else can feel chaotic. But you might not know how your week goes, but you know how this show goes. You know this episode. And your brain goes, perfect, let's stay here. Okay? So, and I'm talking about TV shows, production background, but it could be the same books. It could be the same anything, right? I know people who will cook the same things. So it's about the repetition and doing the known outcome. But I'm talking specifically with TV shows because I can, because I have a production background. Okay, so let's get on to the next one. The next one is about reason why we do this is nostalgia. Okay, and this is where the feel good really kicks in, because when you rewatch something from your past, you're not just watching the show. Stay with me for this next sentence. You're reconnecting with who you were when you first watched it. Okay? So when you rewatch something again and again and again, you are reconnecting with who you were when you first watched it. And that triggers dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. So it's not just like, oh, I like this show. It's, I like how I feel and who I am in this version of me. And I noticed this personally because lately I had been watching, because I've had a lot of change in my life in the past couple of years, let's just say. And I noticed I was rewatching a lot of shows I watched in high school or college, or, those formative early years. And it reminded me of me. It reminded me of the younger version of myself who was like, you got this. The whole world out there, you can do it. You can create what you desire. You can be this person. Remember that hope. Remember that desire to create. Remember, like, when you were excited about things. Yeah. So as I rewatched these old movies, I was literally reconnecting with that old version of me. Okay? Who I was when I first watched it. And my friends, this is powerful. I mean, think about that for a minute. How many times have you rewatched a show and gone, yeah, I like me in this. Yeah, that's powerful. It reminds you of the hope, the emotion, the whatever it is that is triggering for you, okay? Because sometimes you're not rewatching the show. You're revisiting the version of yourself that felt lighter, safer, happier, hopeful, joyful, excited, more certain, and more connected. Okay? So we're going to go to our first break. And start just looking at this. Start looking at some of your favorite shows and why you watch them. It makes me feel good. Because this whole that it connects you to the version of you is big. It's big, and it can be useful, because as we are all on an energetic wavelength, we are absolutely dynamically connecting to that and recreating it and bringing it forth to now. So yeah, watching old shows can inspire you to live your life again. Okay. So when we come back, I have one more of why we do this, or a couple, and then we're going to get into some of the downside, like what happens when we're escaping and hiding instead of comforting and re-engaging. All right, my friends, you are watching or listening the Exploration of Wonder with me, your host and fellow guide, Donnielle Carter, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Ever feel like there's more to life than meets the eye? A sense of wonder just beyond your grasp? Are you ready to create a life that inspires you so much that each day you are excited to wake up and live it? Join Donnielle Carter, a nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, weekly as she explores the universe on the exploration of wonder. Explore everything from harnessing the power of your mindset to connecting with your intuition and harnessing the energetic forces around us. With a blend of humor, warmth, directness, and a dash of cheekiness, Donnielle shares easy-to-use, pragmatic, yet magical techniques you can implement immediately to infuse your life with wonder. Join us as we navigate the fascinating landscapes of the seen and unseen, and together create lives filled with joy, purpose, and boundless possibility.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to hello@donnielle.com. Now back to the exploration.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about the ease of the rerun, or as I think I called the show, comfort, control, and couch time. Why do we watch the same things again and again and again? All right, and we've gone over a lot. My favorite so far is because it reminds us of older versions of ourselves, so please check out the first segment. There's a lot of information in there. So moving on, so the next one is why we watch the same things again and again and again, because trust me, it's not a lack of options. Sometimes it's like too many options, and there's something like, I'm just going to rewatch the same thing. But there's more to it than that. There's more to it than you can't make a choice. You are making a choice. And we're delving in today about why you are. So here's the next layer of why we rewatch the same shows again and again and again. And as I said, this can be the same music, same books, same cooking, same habits. It's the ease of the familiar. But I'm just focusing on the TV shows today because I can. So here's the next one, energy. Energy, yes, in the universe, but energy of you, right? A new show requires effort. You have to learn new characters, new storylines, and new emotional investments. And when you're already tired, when you're already overwhelmed, that just seems like too much. I've done that recently. I started watching a new show and I got about 5 minutes into it and I went, I don't want to do this right now. And so I switched to something I'd seen a million times, like Gilmore Girls or Dexter, or Schitt's Creek, some of my favorites. So when you're already tired, the show feels, a new show, feels like work. Rewatching removes that and saves your energy. It becomes low effort and high reward, which after a long day, do you want to work more or do you want to relax more? You want something easy, right? So, and here we go again with research. According to research, familiar shows can help restore emotional energy and even reduce feelings of loneliness by creating a sense of connection. Isn't that interesting? Because we know these characters. Like, when I worked in TV, Gilmore Girls was one of my favorite shows, still is. And, I worked for WB Network, and so I got to premiere it and play with the show and stuff. And I was promotion manager, and I was doing this big event. And the gentleman who plays Luke on the show was scheduled to come in, and the network was doing it for me because they knew I love Gilmore Girls, so they thought this would be like really nice. And I'm actually like, crap, because I don't want to meet the actor. I want Luke. I wanted the character because we build these emotional bonds. Funny side note, he ended up canceling, so I never did meet him. A couple of gentlemen from Seventh Heaven came instead, which was a lot of fun. And anyways, but I had the emotional connection with the character, and I knew that. I had enough wherewith in my head that know that I was connecting with the character. And so that's why it can decrease, when we rewatch the same things again and again, it can decrease the feelings of loneliness by creating a sense of connection. You know these people. You know how they're going to act. You know how they're written, right? It starts to feel familiar. It's like people you know. Okay. So we've gone into what are some of the benefits. Now, what are some of the negative? What's the dark side? Okay, let's flip it 180. Because while it absolutely can be supportive, it can also become a pattern that keeps you in the same emotional loop. Okay, not always, sometimes. And let me say, all of this is never about judgment. It's never about wrongness. It's just about awareness of where we're functioning with our lives, okay? Because if you're constantly choosing the familiar, yes, I paused to make sure the attention was there. If you're constantly choosing the familiar, you may be avoiding new experiences, emotional growth, or even that space of uncertainty, which sometimes we need to ask new questions, to explore new things, okay? And this is where the awareness part matters. This is where that comes in. Because it's not about stopping watching the rerun, okay? It's about asking, what am I actually choosing right now? Because if you're avoiding new experiences, it's not about the new experiences, it's about the act of avoidance. What are you avoiding? Where are you stopping your life with an avoidance pattern? Are you hiding? Are you right on the edge of emotional change and you're like, nope, not today, Satan. I'm going to watch the same thing. Are you comforting? Are you hiding? Are you so scared of the new that you can't handle a level of uncertainty? Okay? So, what are you actually choosing right now? Are you looking for comfort, avoidance, rest, escape? Different energies, much different energies. Let me read that again. I did it fast. Comfort, Okay. Avoidance, what's really going on? Are you looking for rest? Okay. Are you looking for escape? What's going on? Different energies. So here's some quick tips on how to shift that pattern when you become aware of it. So if you notice yourself in a rerun loop, notice the energy before you push play. And really, this is the key to the whole thing. What are you looking for right now? Comfort, distraction, connection? Just noticing changes everything. And that doesn't mean you can't choose it. Just be aware of why you're choosing it, right? Because I will never stop watching Gilmore Girls or Dexter or Schitt's Creek. Some of my comforts. Okay? And sometimes it helps me shift my emotional status. Absolutely. Okay, tip number 2, add, don't remove. And this goes with everything. A lot of people are like, I work with a lot of people who are wanting to change their behaviors. They're like, I just need to not do it. I'm like, but that's like an addict going cold turkey. Replace. Okay? So you want add, don't remove. Instead of stopping reruns completely, if you're wanting to shift it, try one familiar episode and then one new show, like one episode of a new show. Okay, blend the safety with expansion. Number 3, watch with awareness. And what I mean by this is you are in a different place than when you first watched this. So watch it. You already know what's going on and what's different. And for me, I really got this the first time I watched Grease as an adult, because it used to play all the time as a kid on TV when I was a kid. And then when I rewatched it as an adult, the movie Grease, I'm like, this is naughty. There were so many innuendos that I didn't get as a child that I'm like, as an adult, I'm like, oh. So rewatch the same thing, but watch it also with who you are now and just notice what's changed, because your perspective has changed. And then the 4th quick tip is expand your comfort zone. Find new shows that create a similar feeling, right? Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, they all do it. It's like related. Sometimes it's the same actor, sometimes it's the same feel, but check it out. It's not identical, but it's energetically familiar. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Rewatching shows isn't random. It's not laziness, and it's not for a lack of options, and it's not because you can't commit. It's just information. Your brain is asking for ease, familiarity, emotional safety, connection. And when you start to recognize that, you get choice. Not to stop it, but to use it. Because sometimes the rerun is exactly what your system needs. Absolutely. And sometimes it's just a doorway back into the same pattern. So the question is, are you choosing it or are you hiding in it? That's the awareness. And that's where everything starts to shift. Are you choosing it to regulate your nervous system, to have ease, to rest, relax? Or are you hiding in it to avoid growth, avoid newness, avoid, or just hide from a choice, hide from something? So just ask, are you choosing it or are you hiding in it? And if you ever want to watch Gilmore Girls and Dexter, let me know. And Schitt's Creek, because I'm here for you. Oh, and Ted Lasso. Some of my favorites. All right, so next week, my friends, the problem of potential. This is a fun one I've been brewing on for a long time, the problem of potential. Yeah, it can be a problem, but we're here to change it, because it's not a bad thing. It's just often what's getting put on us. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me in exploring the ease of the rerun, or couch time, or whatever I actually call the show. And if you ever want to play with me, have a private session, or I have so many classes, go to Donnielle.com and check it all out. And until we play next week, have a fun week, a magical week. Do something fun and relaxing, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for exploring with us today. Donnielle returns Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Pacific. Until then, be curious, be wonder, and explore the magical universe around you.